In this area, I think you could liken our wilding tree problem, particularly the contorta, as like a war, and we are close to having the upper hand in that war. But if we were to stop fighting, we'd be back to square one in no time. Well, pine trees in isolation can be a valuable asset, but in the Mackenzie country we have difficulty containing them. And in particular, one variety of pine trees called contorta pine, and they can't be contained. They're a weed species of pine tree that has lots of cones. Prolific, short life cycle. In about 3 years they reach maturity, so they're able to spread their seed. And the reason why we don't want those contorta pines spread all over the Mackenzie country is predominantly because of our outstanding natural landscape and also biodiversity. So when you get thick pine trees, they cover the thick canopy over the ground, and that means that the tussocks and native or natural plants underneath die. We also have open landscapes, and when these trees grow on the roadsides, all our scenic views disappear. There's also aspects around use of water. Pine trees suck up a lot of water that could be used for agriculture or hydro purposes. There's also the aspects of fire danger, and in this district here we've had 2 significant fires in the last year or 18 months. And these things are very difficult to contain, so the only logical thing is to take out the seed source where possible.
We bought the farm 6 years ago, and when we bought the farm it's 2,620 hectares and 2/3 of the farm was covered in wilding trees. MPI and Environment Canterbury came on board and sprayed out a fair area for us with the wilding conifer program, about 700 hectares of it. That's made a big difference and a big start to us as well. We've oversown it in clover to try and get grasses coming through before the wildings do as well. Again, but there's still, a massive job. We clear all the post-harvest stuff ourselves, fence it, grass it, and try and control the wilding trees at the same time in other areas that haven't been done yet.
What we're seeing out the window at the moment is some really good progress on the work that's happening, whether that be on the ground crews, excavation, mechanical clearing, or the helicopter crews doing wilding, ABBA control, or flying crews into the inaccessible places. What we've got is some great areas being cleared, but also a lot of regrowth happening as well, which is something that is coming pretty hard and fast at the moment.
Well, I was lucky enough to go for a fly to see for myself what ECAN are doing in the Mackenzie district, and that was over 6 or 8 management units that have control policies over them. And I was actually pleasantly surprised about the amount of progress. A lot of it's out of sight and people don't realise the work that's done. There's been a lot of money spent over an enormous number of hectares, but the fact remains that on the lower Benow range and on the Burnett range up at Mount Cook Station, we have large, very large populations of wilding trees that will require a lot of effort to get rid of.
If they don't control the trees further upwind of us, then what we're doing here is a waste of time and money, so it's just going to get reinfested by the seed sources further upwind. They're only at the tip of the iceberg at the moment, and they're only just starting to gain traction.
Now there's some lines in the sand, which is really good, and it's allowing a bit of progress, a bit of a line to work to, and allowing a little bit of follow-up in places as well. But there is still a lot of seed in the ground, and the stuff is still growing, I guess.
By no means it's a small job, but then I'd hope in 5 years' time we'll have a fairly good hole in it and be getting somewhere quite big.